Welcome back to the English Cafe channel. I'm your host, Tom. It's great to have you here again. Today we have a very useful topic. We're going to learn how to describe your weekend in English. This is a common question in conversations, so it is important to know how to answer it well.
Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us create more content for you. In this episode, you will learn key past tense verbs, a simple way to structure your story, and some great expressions to sound more natural. Are you ready? Let's start. First, let's talk about verbs. When you talk about your weekend, you are talking about the past, so we need to use the past tense. Let's start with regular verbs. For most regular verbs, we just add ed at the end. For example, watch becomes watched. Play becomes played. Let's practice some common weekend verbs. I will say the word and you can repeat it after me. Ready? Okay, first word. Visit, visited. Cook, cooked. Clean, cleaned. Listen, listened. Relax, relaxed. Walk, walked. Talk, talked. Great job! So you could say, I visited my parents, or I cooked a delicious dinner. Simple, right?
Now let's look at some irregular verbs. These verbs are different. They don't end in ed. You have to remember their special past tense form. These are very common, so it's important to learn them. For example, go becomes went. See becomes saw. Go, went. Have, had. Do, did. Eat, ate. See, saw. Sleep, slept. And one more, read. The spelling is the same, R-E-A-D, but in the past tense we say read, like the color. Read, read. Good. So you can say, I went to the park, or I saw a great movie. Now you know some verbs, but how do you put them together in a story? A good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let's start with the beginning. You can start your story by saying when it happened. For example, on Saturday morning, or my weekend started on Friday evening. Let's practice a few phrases to start your story. Repeat after me. On Saturday, I started my weekend by... Next is the middle of your story. This is where you talk about your main activities. You can connect your ideas with words like then, after that, or later. For example, I visited my friend, then we watched a movie. Finally, we have the end. This is how you finish your story. You can use phrases like on Sunday evening or to finish my weekend, I... This structure makes your story easy to understand. Let me give you a simple example. Listen to my story about my weekend. On Saturday morning, I cleaned my apartment. After that, I went to the supermarket to buy some food. In the afternoon, I met my friend for coffee. We talked for a long time. On Sunday, I relaxed at home. I read a book and listened to music. Finally, on Sunday evening, I cooked pasta for dinner and watched a movie. See? Beginning, middle, and end. It's a simple, clear story. Now let's learn some useful expressions. Often, someone will ask you about your weekend first. They might say, how was your weekend? Or, did you have a good weekend? You can answer with a short, simple phrase before you tell your story. You can say, it was great, thanks. Or, it was pretty good. Or, it was okay. Let's practice these. Repeat after me. How was your weekend? It was great, thanks. Relaxing. Busy. Fun. Exciting. quiet, uneventful. You can use these adjectives in a simple sentence. For example, my weekend was very relaxing, or I had a busy weekend. Let's try combining this with our first answer. Someone asks, "How was your weekend?" You can say, "It was really fun. On Saturday, I went to a concert." Or, "It was pretty quiet. I mostly stayed at home." This is a great way to start your story. Now let's move on to another important part of sharing your experiences, expressing your feelings and opinions about what you did. Just saying what you did is good, but saying how you felt about it makes your story much more engaging for the listener. This will make your English sound more advanced and natural. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. You can also be more specific. For instance, if you watched a movie, you could say, "The movie was fantastic," or if you ate at a restaurant, "The food was delicious." Okay, for our next part, we will practice with a short dialogue. Imagine a conversation between Anna and Ben. I will read both parts. Listen carefully to how they use the words and phrases we have learned. I will speak slowly. The conversation starts with Anna asking Ben about his weekend. "It was a bit disappointing, to be honest," or "It wasn't as good as I had hoped. For example, the weather was terrible, so I couldn't go to the beach. It was a bit disappointing." Let's practice those phrases. Repeat. It was a bit disappointing. It wasn't as good as I had hoped. Hi, Ben. How was your weekend? Hey, Anna. It was great, thanks. Very relaxing. How about you? Mine was good too, but a bit busy. What did you do? On Saturday, I went to the park and read a book. It was beautiful outside. Then, in the evening, I cooked dinner for my family. Ah, that sounds lovely. What did you cook? I made lasagna. It was my first time and I really enjoyed it. My family said it was delicious. On Sunday, I just stayed home and watched movies. Nice! A quiet Sunday is the best. I visited my sister. We went shopping. Fun! Did you buy anything? I did. I bought a new jacket. I'm so happy with it. It's exactly what I was looking for. Did you hear the phrases? Anna started with, "How was your weekend?" Ben answered with, "It was great, thanks. Very relaxing." He used an adjective. Then he used past tense verbs like went, read, cooked, and stayed. He also used then to connect his story. This is a perfect example of a natural conversation. All right, that brings us to the end of our lesson. Today, we learned how to talk about the weekend. Let's quickly review. First, remember to use the past tense. We practiced regular verbs like watched and irregular verbs like went. Second, structure your story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Use connecting words like then and after that. Third, use useful expressions like how was your weekend and adjectives like relaxing or busy to make your conversation more interesting. Your homework is to practice. In the comments below, write 2 or 3 sentences about your last weekend. I would love to read them. Thank you so much for listening to the English Cafe channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons. I'm Tom, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.